Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Rest. In this video, I'm coming at you with all the new raid weapons and going to be talking about all the god rolls you need to get for PvP and PvE and what you should be looking out for. I hope this video can help you out if you are curious on what you need to keep or dismantle, and hopefully it gives you an idea of things that you want to keep. So going over the first weapon, we have the Heritage Shotgun. This is a new precision weapon or slug shotgun that is in the game. And if you don't know, slug shotguns are all the rave right now. They have the most DPS. They are just absolutely insane with the buff that they got, and they just can destroy everything. Now, in the first column, you have the barrels like you would always have, and you can kind of just go with whatever you want to. On slug shotguns, range is not the biggest thing since they seem to have a range cap, so if you want to go for something that has more handling, I would definitely recommend that. Now, in the second column, always go for Assault Mag. This is the only perk you should be looking for. Assault Mag is going to give you a faster fire rate. It's not a much faster fire rate, but it can increase your DPS by a little bit. And for PvP, obviously shooting the gun faster to get another shot off is also going to be pretty good. But in PvP, Across rounds will also do you well if you want to go for that range route. But Assault Mag is definitely the #1 perk you should always look out for. Now, first column, you have things like Slot Shot, Outlaw, Reconstruction, which is a new perk, Auto-Loading Holster, Hipfire Grip, and Dual Loader. All these perks are actually decent. Slot Shot, if you don't know, is going to boost your range when you slot, and you're going to reload the magazine when you slide. So this is a nice PvP perk. You're going to be able to slide, get a little bit more range, and you're going to be able to one-tap people further. Outlaw is also decent if you're going for an ad clear style build with this weapon, but I definitely would not recommend Outlaw over some of the other perks. Reconstruction is the new perk, and what this says, this weapon slowly reloads itself over time up to double capacity. Reconstruction is the best perk on all of these raid weapons. Always go for Reconstruction for PvE specifically, and even PvP you can make it work. Reconstruction is going to just essentially let you have a magazine up to 12 shots, depending on if you're running, extended mag or something, because it's going to double the capacity of what your shotgun normally has. Not only is this good for boss damage and just general ad clear, because on things like Outlaw, you have to reload the weapon. With Reconstruction, you never have to reload the gun. Auto-Loading Holster is also another good option if you're going for specifically boss damage. Reconstruction is just a better auto-loading. But if you can't get Reconstruction, auto-loading is not a bad perk, and it definitely is not a dismantle. Hipfire Grip kind of sounds like a meme, but it actually is pretty good on slug shotguns for PvP. It's just going to let you easily hit headshots more often, especially if you're hip firing. So it's definitely a perk I would not look at and dismantle, but obviously there are going to be better options. Slide Shot is definitely the better option for PvP. Dual Loader is also pretty good. When you reload the gun, you can put 2 shells in it once, which can be nice, but you don't, like I said, it's the same thing as Outlaw. You don't really ever want to be reloading this gun since you have things like Reconstruction and auto-loading on it. Now, in the second column, you have things like Thresh, Recombination, Killing Wind, Snapshots, Moving Target, and Unrelenting. Now, Thresh is a pretty good perk for PvE. It doesn't do anything in PvP, but Thresh is going to give you a little bit of super energy whenever you kill an enemy. So if you get Thresh, I would definitely not dismantle it. It's probably one of the best perks you can get for the second column, but the best perk for PvE is definitely Recombination. Elemental Final Blows increase the damage of this weapon's next shot. Since this is a kinetic weapon, you will probably be running a energy primary like the Achilles SMG, which does work. This is going to start stacking up Recombination. Now, once you get a lot of this stacked up, you can swap over to this shotgun and do a huge amount of damage since you've stacked up a lot of Recombination with your elemental primary. So definitely go for Recombination. It is one of the best. Killing Wind is also good for PvP. Kills up is going to increase your range, mobility, and handling for short duration. You can kind of have like a mini chaperone, especially if you go like Killing Wind and Slash Shot. The range you're going to get is kind of nutty. Snapshot is also going to be really good for PvP if you're trying to use select shotguns. Moving Target is also actually not that bad since you're going to be moving anyway when you're shotgunning, because the point of a shotgun is to rush. You're going to have a little bit more target acquisition, which is always nice. Unrelenting is always kind of an amp perk. It's definitely not bad, but I would definitely not recommend it over any of the other perks. So for PvE, Assault Mag, Reconstruction, Recombination is the go-to god roll. Definitely would not recommend anything else. If you get that, you have probably the best primary shotgun in the game, and you can keep that and use it for a long time. Now, for PvP, Assault Mag, and like I said, if you want to go range Akaraz with the range barrel, Slot Shot, and probably Killing Wind. If you, like I said, if you want to go Snapshot, you can, but Killing Wind plus Slash Shot, the combination of range plus getting a kill, is just going to make you very mobile, and you can rush really quick with it. it's going to be kind of like a mini chaperone. So chaperone, you get a kill, you're going to get the bonus. Killing wind is going to be kind of like that, just a slightly less powerful version, but slash shot can make up for that to make it very, very powerful. Now getting into the next weapon, we have the Succession. This is a 72 round per minute legendary sniper rifle. This is also going to go in your kinetic slot along with the shotgun. Now for perks, you have the normal barrels as always, and then over here you have things like tactical mag, extended mag, accurized, SETI, and alloy magazine. Now the reason I kind of read all these off because these do matter. Extended mag is probably going to be your best option. If you run extended mag with the mod that increases your magazine size, you can actually get 5 shots in the sniper rifle, which is going to pair really well with a reconstruction. So you'll have 10 shots in the magazine, and it is kind of disgusting. Now, if you just want to run extended mag to have 4 shots and get to 8 with reconstruction, you can as well. But tactical mag, extended mag are definitely your go-to options. For PvP, accurized rounds is probably going to be your best. Now, in the first column, you have lead from gold, reconstruction, we already went over, moving target, killing wind, slotways, and no distractions. So for PvE, hands down, again, reconstruction is the best perk. Don't even look at any of the other perks for PvE. This is just going to make your magazine size huge. You're never going to have to reload the gun, and it is super, super good on special weapons. Now for PvP, moving target is going to be really good. Obviously, you're going to be moving. If you're sniping, you're moving around, you're going to have more target acquisition. Killing wind is also good to increase the range, which is going to help with your aim assist. Slotways is even also pretty good as well if you just want to reload the magazine when you slide. In the second column, you have things like Vorpal, Thresh, Recombination, Snapshot, Osmosis, and Rampage, which again is also pretty good. Vorpal is going to be the just most neutral damaging perk that you can get. It's going to be really good for bosses. If you're taking out just a bigger enemy, Vorpal is just going to be that extra damage that you need, and paired with Recombination is a very good combo. Thresh is also pretty good. You're going to get super energy. It's definitely not that bad. Like if you get that, I wouldn't dismantle it, especially with the reconstruction. Recombination is also on this, which again works just like the Heritage Shotgun. If you're using an elemental primary, you're going to be able to stack recombination up a lot, and that first shot is going to do a ton of damage. So if you're doing a strike or something, you're killing a lot of enemies with your energy SMG or just whatever energy weapon you're using, you're going to get to a higher tier enemy and you can just instantly delete them with recombination, which is also good. Now Snapshot is obviously going to be very good for PvP, something like Snapshot, moving target. Osmosis is actually very interesting. With this, you're going to get whatever super essential you're using. So if you're using a solar subclass, arc, or void, unfortunately this does not work with stasis. You're going to get whatever that element is on your weapon. So this is going to allow you, this kinetic sniper rifle, to do whatever energy you want to. So this can be pretty good on on things where Nightfalls you have like match game. You can just always have another weapon with the element on it. Osmosis is a very gimmicky perk. I would definitely not recommend getting this, but if you have it, it's not bad, so to speak. Rampage is again always an okay perk on any weapon, but I would definitely not recommend it on a special sniper. Now for PvE, 100% reconstruction and Vorpal is going to be your go-to. If you want to go recombination, it's also going to be a very, very good combination as well. But Vorpal is just overall a very consistent damage buffing perk. It's going to work at all times, and it's nothing that really requires it to proc. Same as reconstruction. It's going to always be working and give you a huge benefit, and those two paired together are just absolutely insane. For PvP, moving target, Snapshot is probably going to be the best go-to. If you have Snapshot, Killing Wind, this is also going to be really good. This is going to essentially give you quick draw whenever you get the first snipe, and this is one of the only high impact sniper rifles that you can kind of still use. I know there's the Iron Banner one, I think, that's not sunsetted, but this is going to be a very, very good sniper, and I would definitely recommend getting it for PvP if you are a sniper. Now, getting to the next up, we have the Posterity, which is a 180 round per minute hand cannon that goes in your energy slot. Now, I actually already have a whole video on this if you guys want to go check it out, and I go in depth with everything that you need to know about the gun. It is one of the best new weapons in the game, and it is going to be an absolute killer for PvE. Now, in the first column, you have all the normal barrel perks like as always. Then in the second column, the same as always right here too. So just go with whatever you want to. But the main perks are the ones over here. I'm telling you, when this hand cannon has like the best perks in the game, I'm not even lying. In the first column, you have things like Rapid Hit, which is going to increase your reload speed and stability, which is nice. Feed and Frenzy, which is also going to increase your reload speed 4 times the charm, so you have a bigger magazine size. Reconstruction again, Surplus, and Killing Wind. Now, first column, Rapid Hit is going to be very, very good. Getting precision hits is going to increase your reload speed and stability. Very, very good for both PvE and PvP. Feed and Frenzy is probably the easiest, just go-to perk. Getting a kill is going to increase your load speed, and that paired with some of the other perks in the second column, it just makes it a very, very killer combination. 4 times the charm is probably the least appealing perk, for not reloading the gun based. This is going to let you just not have to reload, essentially you just keep hitting precision shots. I would definitely recommend going for the other perks, but if you get 4 times the charm, it's not bad. Reconstruction is probably the best perk again. This is going to let you have double the magazine on a primary weapon, and you're going to be able to just constantly shoot the gun over and over again. Surplus is definitely the worst perk in this whole combination over here. Surplus is definitely not that good of a perk on any weapon, and when you have other perks like this, it's just not going to compete. Killing Wind is probably going to be the next best go-to PvP perk. Again, killing enemy is going to give you a bunch of bonuses like range handling and mobility, which is always nice. Now, in the second column, you have things like Demolitionist, Rampage, One for All, Opening Shot, Unrelenting, and Redirection. Demolitionist is always a really good perk in both PvE and PvP. This is going to let you get your grenade energy back whenever you kill an enemy, and when you throw your grenade, you're going to reload the gun. Definitely always keep a Demolitionist weapon. It's one of the best perks in the game. Rampage is, again, one of the best go-to ad clear perks in the game. Rampage paired with Feed and Frenzy is, obviously a very appealing combo. It's the Midnight Coup 2.0. And it does perform very, very well. Rampage Rapid Hit is also really good, but if you just want a very simple, easy to use hand cannon for PvP, Rampage Feed and Frenzy, hands down, is the best option. One for All is a new perk. Hitting 3 separate targets increase the damage for a short moderation. This is kill clip level of damage just for hitting 3 separate enemies. This is probably, technically hands down the best go-to perk for PvE on this column. This paired with Reconstruction is just absolutely nutty. You're going to be able to just kill a ton of enemies, especially if it's a huge room and you get this perk proc. You're going to one-shot almost everything, and it is disgusting. Opening Shot is the best PvP. Opening Shot, Killing Wind is an insane combination for PvP, but 180s obviously aren't the greatest in PvP as it is. Then Unrelenting is, again, always the perk. I think that's the meme of these videos. It's okay, but it's not going to be better than some other options. Then you have Redirection, which is a new perk. So when you damage ranked and fog bandits or red bar enemies, you're going to have more damage against powerful ones. This can be okay, but I definitely would recommend just taking One for All, which is just overall damage increase. It's just going to be better than Redirection. But Redirection is good. It's not like the best perk in the game, but you can make it work. So God tier PvE loadout definitely is Reconstruction, One for All, with something like Extended Mag, so you can get that Reconstruction up even more. Then, if you want an easier option, Feed and Frenzy Rampage is just the go-to easy option. PvP, Killing Wind Opening Shot is hands down going to be what you want to go for if you want to use this gun in PvP. Now we have the Trustee, which is a new legendary scout rifle that goes in an energy slot, and it's a 260 round per minute one. There's not many scout rifles like this in the game. Randy's throwing knife, I think, was like the only one recently. So this is a breath of fresh air to actually have a surprisingly good archetype of scout rifle to be in the game. And this one is probably the best. Now for perks, we have, like I'll always say, the same type of barrels. Go with whatever you want to. These don't matter as much as the other 2 perks, as pretty much every weapon in the game is like that. The next column we have, all of the magazine perks, the round perks, whatever you want to go for. Extended Mag is probably going to be the best for a lot of these array weapons PvE, specifically for Reconstruction. So in the first column we have Surplus, then we have Reconstruction, Outlaw, Killing Wind, Zen Moment, and Under Pressure. Then in the second column we have things like Wellspring, High Impact Reserves, Opening Shot, Out of the Storm, Sympathetic Arsenal, and Redirection. Now, all of these perks are actually decent. They're not like the greatest. Surplus, you can throw that one out, but Reconstruction is hands down going to be the best PvE perk that you can get on this weapon. Outlaw is also really good if you don't have Reconstruction, so definitely keep one if you have Outlaw. Killing Wind is also really, really good for things like PvP. Zen Moment is also good for PvP, but you don't really need it. This scout rifle doesn't have much recoil as it is if you're on mouse and keyboard, but it will help out, especially for console players. Under Pressure is also good. You're going to improve accuracy as the magazine gets lower. Second column, like I said, Wellspring is always just a very good go-to perk. Getting your energy back just for killing enemies is just hands down just like very good on par with a damage dealing perk. High impact reserves is also really good and very interesting on the scout rifle, as this is going to allow it to be a 4-shot killing crucible, and as 260 rounds per minute, you can kind of melt people with this thing, and it's very, very good. And this paired with something like under pressure, you can just start, you can just start off when you res, just get the magazine really low. Now you're going to have increased accuracy and increased damage, and those two paired together are just absolutely nutty. Opening shot is also good for PvP if you want to run a more consistent weapon. Eye of the Storm is also not that bad of a perk for PvP either. It's going to increase your accuracy when your health gets lower. Always nice to have. Sympathetic Arsenal is at best. Like, it's not a bad perk, but you're never going to use it over anything else. And Redirection, again, is okay for this weapon. It's just not going to be as good as some other perks. Now, the God Roll go-to PvE loadout, in my opinion, is Extended Mag, Reconstruction, and Wellspring. If you get this roll, it is actually going to be very, very gross on a scout rifle. You're going to have a huge magazine, and you're going to just constantly be regenerating your abilities over and over again at longer distances too, since it's a scout rifle. Now, for PvP, this scout rifle is honestly more appealing than the PvE counterpart. You can run things, like I said, under pressure, high impact reserves, which is nice. Outlaw Wellspring is also nice for PvP to get that reload speed when you get a precision kill. Opening a shot, killing win is also really nice. Zen Moment is also really good, but the God Roll, like, go-to, I would definitely recommend is under pressure, high impact reserves. And you don't want to run something like Extended Mags. You want to get your magazine down as fast as possible. And honestly, if you want to run something like Alloy with those two perks, so you have a fast reload when the magazine is empty, since you're going to be shooting enemies with the lower end of your magazine anyway, you're going to have that fast reload speed to get it down immediately again. But that is definitely the rolls I would run for this scout rifle. So the next weapon we have is the Commemoration. This is a brand new 450 round LMG that is void. This is 100% the hammerhead replacement. It's even void damage. Like, you can't go wrong with it. But the perks you're going to get from this are actually very, very good, and it's kind of disgusting the combinations you get on some of these raid weapons. But as always, first column is all the barrels, go whatever you want to. Range is probably going to be your best option, since this is a LMG and you just want to be able to kill ads with it really, really quickly. Second column is definitely Extended Mag for PvE. Accurized rounds maybe for PvP, which is whatever you want to go for, but for PvE, 100% Extended Mag. And that is due to Reconstruction also being on this weapon. It's on pretty much every single raid weapon other than the next one we're about to get into, for obvious reasons. But first one, we have Surplus, Reconstruction, Feed and Frenzy, Zen Moment, Dynamic Sway Reduction, and No Distractions. So first column, Surplus, throw that one out. Feed and Frenzy is going to be very good for PvE, but honestly, I would recommend going Reconstruction over Feed and Frenzy just to have a huge magazine size. This is going to be your Hammerhead and 21% Delirium at the same time, and I'm telling you, this is just going to be the best go-to LMG for PvE. Zen Moment is also really good for PvP. Dynamic Sway Reduction is probably going to be your best for PvP, and No Distractions, you can just throw that one out too. But in the second column, you have things like Rampage, Dragonfly, Eye of the Storm, Under Pressure, Unrelenting, and Moving Target. Rampage is hands down the best ad cleaning perk in the game, essentially, especially on an LMG. Pairing that with Reconstruction, Extended Mag, you're just going to have a dumb amount of ammo and just be able to slay enemies down like crazy. Dragonfly will also be pretty good. Getting a couple precision kills when you're mowing ads down, you're going to be able to create explosions and kill a lot of things. I definitely recommend going Rampage though. Eye of the Storm's kind of okay for PvP. Under Pressure is also pretty good, since you pick heavy ammo up in PvP, you're going to be at the lower end of the magazine anyway, so you're just always going to have the increased accuracy and stability on the LMG. And this honestly arguably might be better than Hammerhead. Unrelenting, again, is the amp perk. Then you have Moving Target, which is actually also okay for PvP, so if you're strafing on an enemy, you're going to have more movement speed and target acquisition with the heavy weapon, which is always nice. But as you probably already know, the go-to God Roll PvE perks for this are Extended Mag, Reconstruction, and Rampage. Like, this, I'm telling you, is hand down. Like, I cannot wait to get this roll. If there was ever a heavy weapon that you want to farm for in this raid, definitely this one. This is just going to be what you use for pretty much the entire year if you get this roll, depending on if they make something better than this LMG. For PvE specifically, it is going to be disgusting. For PvP, you can honestly kind of say the same thing. If they make something better, there's really no reason to use anything else other than this. You can have things like Dynamic Sway and Under Pressure at the same time. Just have stupid accuracy bonuses when you pick up a heavy break in PvP. and it's just gonna be disgusting. But finally, the last raid weapon is the brand new sword, which is not gonna see any light of day due to Falling Guillotine and Lament being in the game. But this sword actually is not bad, and it's probably one of the best legendary swords that you can actually get. So the perks on this are things like you would always see. Jagged Edge for PvE is gonna be your best option, hands down. You're just gonna get more damage, and you definitely want that, you know, for a heavy weapon in PvE. Then you have all your normal guards. Swordmaster guards, again, probably gonna be the best option just to get your charge rate up so you can keep using your heavy attack, you know, more and more. So for the first two columns, Swordmasters and Jagged Edge is just gonna be your go-to perks. You should always just look out for those. In the next column, you have things like Tireless Blade, Thresh, Relentless Strikes, and Energy Transfer. All these are decent. Energy Transfer is probably the least appealing, but Relentless Strikes for pure damage is gonna be your best option, as it is on pretty much every sword. But Thresh is an interesting one. Thresh is actually not bad on this sword, since swords have already a huge ammo capacity. And from testing, it seems that Thresh is actually going to give you more energy based on the type of weapon. So if you have a primary weapon, it's not going to give you much as a special, and the heavy weapon, which will obviously give you the most, since it consumes the most ammo, you don't find much of it, you're going to get the most super energy from it. So if you have Thresh on it with a sword to have a lot of ammo, you're going to be getting your super back pretty quickly. So that's actually like not that bad of a perk. In the second column, you have things like On Guard, Surrounded, Assassin's Blade, and Flash Counter. Now, Flash Counter is definitely, again, the least appealing option. It can be okay, you know, it's essentially like a parry. If you block, you're going to disorient everybody around you and weaken them, but it's definitely not appealing to something like Surrounded. Surrounded plus Thresh is going to be a super good option. You're going to have a ton of damage when you're surrounded by enemies, and you're just going to be getting a lot of super energy back. On Guard is actually not that bad either. If you swap to the weapon and immediately just start killing enemies, you're going to get more damage. Then Assassin's Blade, when you kill an enemy, you're going to get more movement speed, which also can pair really, really well with Thresh. So you have a sword, you know, you can swap to it really quick to kill a lot of enemies really fast. You're going to have a bunch of super energy, or you can have a sword so you can just swap to it really quick and just get a bunch of power weapon kills and keep getting ammo back. Or you can go the route of Surrounded. You know, you can swap to it and have something like Relentless Strikes to have a bunch of boss damage. Obviously, the boss damage is not going to be as good as Guillotine or Lament, but if you don't have those two, this was a pretty good option. So the God Roll go-to PvE loadout for this sword is going to be Jagged Edge, Swordmasters, Thresh, and probably Assassin's Blade. Like I said, if you want to go Surrounded, you can, but you're not really using the sword for damage. If you're going to use the sword for complete damage, you're going to just use Guillotine. So I'm kind of playing in that you're going to be able to get your super energy back so you can kill an enemy, move really quick to go kill another enemy, and you're going to have this damage increase as well, and you're going to get a lot of super energy back. For PvP, you can use kind of whatever, like, you know, it doesn't really matter as much. Thresh doesn't even work in PvP. Relentless Strikes doesn't really matter either. So Tireless Blade is probably your best option, and then probably maybe On Guard or Assassin's Blade so you can move faster when you get a kill. But let's be honest, most people aren't using a sword in PvE for the actual ammo. They're just using a 3-peak because that's still a thing in the game. But if you want to be real spicy and go for something like Flash Counter and Energy Transfer, you know, you can block and disorient everybody on top of getting your class building energy back, which can be kind of fun, but I definitely would not recommend that over something like Thresh and Assassin's Blade. So that is all the raid weapons. As you can see, every single one of these raid weapons are just absolutely insane. The perks on them, especially in combination with, you know, with both sides of them, it's disgusting the rolls you can get. These are definitely the go-to best weapons in the game now. If they could create Warmind cells, you would not see anybody using anything else. And when it gets to the point where Warmind cells are kind of out of the meta, these are going to be the weapons that people use, and definitely recommend farming for them now. 100% would be going for the sniper and shotgun first. Shotgun, hands down, is the top priority. After you get those, you can kind of pick between the LMG or the hand cannon. Then after you get those, it's kind of up to you if you want to go for the scout rifle or the sword. The sword can be fun, like I said, but it's just not going to be as good as the other ones. It's just whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's going to be all for me. If you enjoyed, found this video helpful, remember to drop a like and subscribe. It's free. It really helps me out, and I truly appreciate it. But thank you all so much for watching. And if you would like to see my other video where I go over all the season hunt weapons, it will be linked in the description. But I will see you all in the next one. Peace.